Wow, man. West Virginia getting flamed by West Virginia fans. Rich Rodriguez getting flamed because of the way he wants to build this program. I just don't agree with a lot of these fans.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, guys, where we're going to be talking about the football team again today, and I appreciate you for being here to do that. This episode is going to be brought to you by our good friends at Mazda. Mazda. We love talking about Mazda, don't we? Look, like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for the highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward with Mazda, where we can move and be moved. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We'll be talking about your team and the Mountaineers every single day. Thanks for joining in, guys. Okay, so I consider this a substantial number of people, several dozen people that have commented underneath a post that WestVirginiaSports.com did, which is, I believe, the Rivals on 3 site, Keenan Cummings and company. I think I have it pulled up here. Maybe I don't. Thought I did. I think I clicked off of it. So I will get back to that. But so in other words, people aren't happy with how RIchrod wants to build this program. And I get that on a certain level. I get that there's fear here, right? Here it is. We'll share the screen for a quick moment while we talk about this. So Rich Rodriguez is shifting West Virginia's roster strategy, focusing on developing high school talent and using the portal only to fill key holes. Sounds pretty logical. If you're really going to be managing it the right way, most of your roster is going to get built with high school guys, supplemented by transfers. That's the goal. West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez. And this is all nonsense. Portal players, recruits, it doesn't matter. Have to find the right guys every year. You've got, if we bring in 3-star recruit, he becomes a stud, we probably get 1 year out of him before he gets a big payday. I've been assured by West Virginia fans since 2005. Trust me, it'll work. I don't think this is possible in the new world. West Virginia will steal players from FCS. He better catch up. This doesn't work. See how that worked out for Dabo. While I agree RIchrod has no clue at what he's doing, we have a lot of needs to fill. Unfortunately, this isn't how modern football works anymore. So next year we're going to suck again. So do I have to keep going? Right? It's very obvious that this is, and maybe a lot of you feel this way. Maybe this is how you feel. And if you feel this way, I want to address you. Where did you get the idea? What else is there to do? I guess that would be my question. Like, okay, if this isn't how it's done and this is considered being stuck in the past, what's the alternative? I would like to know. Can somebody explain that to me? Because the best teams that I've seen do just what he just said. It really doesn't make any sense. Even Texas Tech this year. Yes, they spent a lot of money in the portal, but it wasn't on 40 or 50 guys. It was on this key 20, 25 guys or something, you know? And you'd preferably like to have even less. I mean, I'm not getting here's what I think. And I mean, I get it. Like I said, I was scrolling through X and it's like apocalyptic vibes here. You know, it's like we're building mostly through high school recruits and using the portal only to plug holes, and the fans are rioting over this. We're doomed forever. We're going to suck again. Feeder school alert. Like, there's even somebody in the comments that begs Ren Baker to come help, like we're held hostage by RIchrod or something. Like, it's insanity, man. And I get it. We're all scarred from this past era with Neil Brown and you know, we lost a lot of players during that era that we've had brought in from high school or young portal players. And I get that. Akeem Mesidor, guys like that. So, I think that turned our roster into kind of a revolving door, right? And I get that. And I think fans are screaming, modern P4 football, because the portal does seem like a shiny new toy, quick fixes, instant stars, right? But that's really not how it works. And if you think building solely through the portal is the answer, I got a rude awakening for you. It's definitely not. It's like the casino. Bright lights, but all you're gonna lose out, right? Mostly. Brutal lows. So I think what Dabo did was he swore away the portal altogether, right? And I think that this is some kind of misconception that fans have, that RIchrod is not going to use the portal or something along those lines. I'm trying to figure out what people want instead, rather than what the article just said. If somebody has suggestions, please let them know at the university so they can go fix it, right? Because I'm really having trouble. So I have 8 big reasons why I think this is exactly what we need, and I'm going to give it to you right now. So, number one, proven champs so far in this era have reloaded with high school talent. I mean, if you look at the blueprint of recent winners, we'll use Ohio State. They lost 13 starters from their 2024 squad, and then they went out and reloaded with 3 5-stars and 13 4-stars from high school. That's what they did. Are we going to recruit at that level? No, but he'll go get his guys, right? There wasn't portal panic there. They went out and got 13, 14 guys, this past year, and won it all, right? Now, Ohio State's an extreme case. We can't go out getting 4 and 5-star guys, 5-star guys. Anyway, I do believe we can get 4-star guys. Number two, the everything's changed already. Like, things are no longer the same than it was even last year. The cap literally just started. So nobody knows how this is actually going to work or what it's going to look like, because the cap changes things, right? The cap actually allows you to choose what you want to do. And outside of the cap is probably what you'll use to go outside, pick players off, right? In my opinion, maybe you use the cap to do both, but let's just for a minute pretend like, okay, we're going to use the cap to pay our players. That means you have up to $15-16 million to pay your best players to stick around. That means everybody else has a similar pot of money, right? You are going to lose some of your best players here and there. If you have an elite quarterback, like Tulane had last year, sure, you're going to lose them. It's going to happen. Yeah. That's why it's important to identify early in the process guys that want to be West Virginia guys, right? They're out there. The Garrett Greens are out there. The Nico Marchiols are even out there, right? You just have to identify somebody that's literally elite that wants to be here as well. It's not easy, and I'm not saying it is. But if you're winning, that won't matter, most likely. Because we see it all the time, right? Cam Rising, guys like that decided. Cam Rising had a bunch of offers when portal first started, right? Ton of big offers. We've seen it with guys like I even think Manning at Texas had some offers. Like, different people get offers, and you just have to be able to match it closely. But for the most part, this is the system we have. So I think it's going to be a situation where people are going to be mad sometimes, but overall, I think it's going to be okay, because we're going to be able to play our good players to stay. Now, our elite players that are, Pat White, I don't know if we can keep a Pat White in this era. I don't know. We'll find out together. But to say it's not going to work is, I think, not the right thing to say either. So the mercenary life is kind of slimming down a little bit, right? We know the portal's a soap opera, because it seems like guys are just showing up for a paycheck and then they bounce, right? So that's why high school kids are important, because you get kids to buy into your program for 4 years. Sure, you're going to lose some, but you're also going to keep some. And the ones that you keep are the ones that you build with. And that's what we have. That's the model we got. We have to roll with it. I don't understand how there's a better one out there. I would love to hear the counter to let's build through high school and supplement with portal. I would love to hear the counter to this argument. I really would, because If there's a better one, somebody please tell me which one it is. Good Lord. There's somebody in the comments right now that says, do not support RIchrod. End. Stop. Don't support Baker. Full stop. West Virginia's conference is in decline, and we don't have enough money to compete. We want to have our athletes to get a great education. Brother, it's not going to happen. Like, I don't know why you think that's the right thing to do. Just stop supporting everybody. That'll help it, right? Let's just not support anybody. Rim Baker's literally been handed one of the worst shit shows you could ever possibly imagine in this athletic department over the last 6-7 years. He hasn't been here that long, but over the last 4 or 5 years. And I think he's navigated it very good. And as far as the money goes, we just found out last week we're going to be in the top tier of the Big 12. Is this conference in decline? Time will tell. I think the Big Ten's new deal, $2 billion deal, puts pressure on other people, and certainly it could cause a shift. But I don't know what that is. I'm not one of these guys that conference realignment to the point to where I know what's coming next. And I don't think anybody else does. But I've got other points on this. Obviously, the culture, right? No mercenaries, like we just said. RIchrod's done this before. You have to trust that his track record works. 3 top 10 finishes from 05 to 07. And that was definitely high school players, right? He did the same thing at Clemson. So let's just see if we can do it. If you're telling me RIchrod can pay his players to stay that he gets from high school, I think that's something that can work because we've seen him do that before. We'll see, right? I mean, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Obviously, we have pipelines that I think we're going to rely on, and we're going to see how those work if RIchrod's still got it. Obviously, there are portal pitfalls, underperformers with huge egos. You've got people with injury histories. You've got people that have gone several places, but they may have a ton of upside. Obviously, I think you have to avoid people like that. But overall, man, I think they'll be fine. They're playing the long game, right? This is reason number 8. They're playing the long game. West Virginia's got facilities. We've got one of the strongest fan bases in the country. We've got a good coach, in my opinion. And I think we have everything in place, including the dollars, right? So there's more reasons to be optimistic about this than there are to be pessimistic. And if you're just joining, I read at least 15 comments in a row that were people just completely bashing this decision. That's not like it's new. They just did an article on it. I was surprised to see so many people hating it. Let's go to break. Unfortunately, West Virginia had a huge loss last night and yesterday in Sir Jesus and Cleats Cheeks. One of the best names ever, and also one of the best running back prospects in the country. It's a big loss. We'll talk about that next, and my early thoughts on the UCF game coming up. Of course, Mazda is our biggest friends, right? This episode brought to you by Mazda. Moving the game forward for those who believe it's not just about playing the game. It's about redefining it. And there are moments that do more than put points on the board, sure. They move crowds, they move culture, and they keep moving the game forward. This week's moment to move the game forward is the bye week, man. Can I just give a shout out to the bye week? We needed the bye week to figure some things out. And I think this team has gotten healthy, and hopefully we can make a stretch run. I'm still believing that we can make some kind of run to get the bowl eligibility, right? So when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Do it today with Mazda, where you can move and be moved. All right, guys, I appreciate you so much for joining in segment 2, where I have Waterfield Dew. You guys believe me, right? It's not pop, I promise. Okay, so I hate this topic. I really do. I'm a big fan of Jesus and Cleats, Sir Paul, if you will. Let's see if I can find his X page really quick. Sir Paul Jesus and Cleats Cheeks is what I typed in. There it is. That's his full name. Okay, cool. Oh man. Um, you know, obviously, if you haven't seen him play yet, truly one of the best running back prospects in the country. And I'm not just saying that, right? I mean, this kid can really go. I think this is a ton of just bad overall, and I wish it could be. Can't be. It happened. If you're not familiar with what happened, he blew his ACL. You know, great athlete overall, man. I mean, he really is. I love the kid. Here he's at running back. This is what he does. Um, and I just wish that this hadn't happened, but I think West Virginia should probably stay patient with this one. Maybe still bring him in, um, and let him, heal here and bet on his future. But I know this is the era we're in. Sometimes you have to move on, and I don't know what they're going to do, but I hope and pray that West Virginia sticks with this kid who runs a 4.3940. This is the exact kind of running back that West Virginia has had in the past that I really love. If you guys haven't seen his highlights, I'll show you a couple really quick. He's a really, really good player. Here he is running track, by the way. He runs a 10 sub 10.5 100 meters, and it shows, right? He's just one of those dudes that can really flat go. So here he is out in front of everybody on that one. Well, I thought I turned my phone down, but apparently I didn't. So let's get to, there's another play here. Another interception by him, but he turns into a running back on the play. But you can see the ability, right? He gets the ball in his hands. He's got great speed. Really can run in Virginia there where they play really good high school football. Seems like it's been forgotten for years how good Virginia is at football. Virginia is a great football state. There's a great example of what he does well. Look at this cut. Boom. That's just an excellent cut, man, right? This is exactly the kind of back RIchrod can excel with, a guy that can make the first guy miss, boom, like that, and really go and wow, run somebody over at the same time. So I hate this for him, and I wish him nothing but the best because he's going to be a kid that West Virginia could have really, I think, could have played a lot next year. I really do. I think he would have been an impact player as a freshman. But ACL injuries are not the end of the world, and I hope people are telling him this in his camp, and I'm sure they are. It probably feels like the end of the world right now for him, but I think he'll be fine. So hopefully West Virginia sticks with the kid, but if they don't, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it at the same time. Let's go to one more break here. What we'll do next is I'm going to give you my opening thoughts on the UCF game. I have a lot of thoughts. We'll be right back. This episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Monarch Money. When it comes to Monarch Money, it's a pretty simple thing. You like finances, we like finances, and most people can't even name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. When you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's where there's Monarch Money, all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or phone. It's built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances for too long, Monarch is here for you, and it does the heavy lifting so you can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of spending, and finally can feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Increase your savings rate where you can easily review your finances with your partner or financial advisor and keep a clear view of your financial health, week to week or long term. Don't let this opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at Monarch Money with the code LOCKEDONCollege. And of course, guys, we can't forget about our good friends at FanDuel. And FanDuel is one of those ones, man, that everybody loves, right? I love them, you love them. That's because the NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, customers can bet $5 and get 300 in bonus bets if you win. Pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you'll unlock $300 to use across the app. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day much more better. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the app today to get started. All right, we are back in Locked On West Virginia in segment 3, and I appreciate you guys for joining in. So I'm freestyling in this segment. I don't have any bullet points or anything to go off of. So, um, I think this game coming up against UCF is the biggest game of the season for a lot of ways, for a lot of reasons. I think UCF has been a better, more consistent football team than us this year. But here's my number one take on this. The optics, right? You're going on the road, so there is that. So edge UCF, right? I understand why it's a touchdown because of how bad our offensive line has been this year and all that. But you've got UCF in year one, and you've got West Virginia in year one, and there are no excuses, right? There's no excuses. There's no reason we can't go up there and beat them. And I have to think that if you believe Rich Rodriguez is a better coach than Scott Frost, then West Virginia's got a chance in this game. But it depends on health. A lot of it does, and we'll see how healthy we are coming into this. Certainly, we needed to get healthy, and we've had 2 weeks to rep somebody at the number one spot. Maybe they've rotated guys, whether that's Jalen Henderson, whether that's Scotty Fox, or whether that's Khalil Wilkins. I have no clue which guy it's going to be. RIchrod said in his press conference a couple weeks back or a week back, hey, look, Jalen Henderson's going to be healthy. So he's not naming a guy, right? Sounded to me like he was probably going to go with Henderson, but I have no inside knowledge there on that. So I can't say. But I'll say this. I think any of the three give us a chance in this. Honestly, I feel better with these three than I would have with Nico, only because of his immobility. That's it. Like, love Nico. I think he can throw it around, but I just feel like we need a guy that can run, unfortunately. With the BYU performance was our most consistent performance in weeks with a redshirt freshman quarterback that had never made a start and was fifth on the depth chart when the year began. Think about that for a second. And we were competitive in Provo at times. Our offense, for as bad as it was, the end was bad. I can't say it was good, but it was a lot better than it had been, right? That's my point. Under Khalil Wilkins, the offense looked passable at times. We actually scored early. We were able to move it only because Khalil was elusive and able to take so many carries up the gut. I think Jalen Henderson offers you something in way of experience, but it's not like he's got a bunch more. He's got about 7 or 8 games under his belt in career. But also you probably have a lot of money invested into Henderson. And you definitely have the most left on the team, probably, or close. Invested in him, maybe Jamori or Coates, but one of those three. So do you feel inclined to have to try to play him for that? I don't know. In the NFL, that's the way it works. For this, can't say as much. If you're asking me, I think you probably, if you're going to give Jalen Henderson one more game, I'm okay with it, only because you've probably known this for the whole 2 weeks, and they're going to give him an experienced quarterback 2 weeks to prepare for an opponent. So that gives you a better likelihood to succeed. With that said, if you don't feel like he's your guy, then I think you go with Scotty Fox personally, although I can understand Wilkins too. I just wonder if Khalil has developed enough as a passer yet. That's my biggest question with him. No questions with his running ability at all. And he threw a great deep ball to Cam Vaughn in the game. But he just hasn't developed the ability to layer passes in yet. I think Scotty Fox has got it physically. It's just up here for him. I'm a big fan of his. So if he gets it up here, Scotty Fox, the sky's the limit. I think he's a great player. I think he can run, he can throw, he can do all the things we need him to do. And you have to ask yourself a question. At 2-4, at what point do you put a guy in and just figure out what we got for next year. I don't want to make it seem like I'm sure they're not tanking or any of that, but like it's got to be a situation where you're praying like I just don't want to. I just don't want to lose out on the ability to get one of these kids um, prepared for next year as well. So, I mean, I don't think that's a big deal. So, is it Scotty Fox Jr., right? The kid that made the great run against Robert Morris here. He had that great run against BYU as well. Obviously, here's one of my favorite calls of the all season that he threw to Gerard Bowie. Sure, like I love his arm. I think he can throw the hell out of it. But Khalil Wilkins showed us something in that game. There's no doubt. So, those two are the upside. I do think Jalen Henderson can still give us something. Just saying, guys, Jalen Henderson has something, right? Still, I think. I know a lot of people don't believe in him. I still think he has something. So he hasn't had a great opportunity. Let's just be honest. So he had one game really, and that's it. I mean, is that really fair? Like one game? I mean, he's been brought in a couple games, but like, I don't know. I'm just asking a question. Because if you go back to Texas A&M where he was comfortable, he looked really good there at times. And I'm just wondering if a lot of what's happened here is because of comfortability. Do you give him 2 weeks to see if you can figure that out? I don't know. But if not, I think you obviously fought it. You got to go with Fox or Wilkins. It's a very interesting take, interesting, story that I wish I knew the answer to, obviously, but we don't. So hoping we start. I'm kind of hoping we start Scotty in a way, but I would understand not as well. Obviously, Khalil's already started on the road. Guys, our schedule did us last point. Our schedule did us zero favors this year. Zero. Like it's one of the worst schedules in history for us, or at least since we've been in the Big 12. Think about this. Number one, the Robert Morris at home thing was great, but you go to Ohio somehow, which a lot of people questioned, right? Then you get the backyard brawl at home, which is great. That was good, but there's nothing else good from there on out because after the backyard brawl, you get to play a Kansas team on the road that was coming off their bye, right? That's not good. Lance Leopold undefeated off the bye. That's not good for us. So you've got that scenario. Then from that, you've got unfortunate scenarios for the team because obviously injuries started piling up and everything, which is never an excuse. I'm not saying that, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's just frustrating, the whole thing, right? But from there, you bring in a Utah team that is just a brutal, brutal team to play after those two games, right? You get the backyard brawl, which goes to overtime, and then you've got Kansas coming off the bye week, way fresher, to play a physical Utah team with an NFL offensive line, to go on the road in a 10:30 at night body clock kickoff. Like those kids were playing until 2 a.m. And now you come out of your bye and you have to go back on the road to Florida and UCF in the bounce house. It's just been horrible. It really has. I mean, look, it's not – I know people say no excuses, but can we just admit we got a really raw deal on the schedule? Like we can't even play a home game after the bye, like Kansas did or whatever. So anyways, I know it sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm just saying and that's not even to mention all the injuries. You get down to your fourth, fifth string quarterback, your third, fourth string running back. Will Ty Edwards be back this week? I mean, there's just so much that goes into it. Let's jump out of here. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. I appreciate the support. It's been a great couple of weeks, as I've said before a couple of times. I also appreciate you guys for letting me do some BYU content. Maybe I'll mention this in the beginning of my next West Virginia show, but I wanted to ask you guys, how you felt about it. Does it bother you? if I'm still doing, 2 shows on West Virginia a day, does it bother you guys if a few times a week that I do a BYU video? Because if you want success for me, they're really supporting the heck out of me right now. And I mean, you guys saw the video did 60,000 views and we got 2,000 subscribers from them. So I feel like I have 2 communities now. And I think they're okay with watching me on here, like West Virginia. But I mean, if you were in my situation, would you cover them as well from time to time? I'm not going to say I'm the BYU guy, but obviously that's Jake. But I'm just curious. I mean, I'm not really asking permission, but I would love your good faith on it. Because I'm not going to, obviously I'm not going to stop West Virginia content. It's not like that's happening. It's going to stay the same. I'm just adding more to my plate, So I'm just asking you what you think, guys. And I love you. I know you guys support me and all that. And some of you don't too, but I get that. Some of you hate watch. It happens. And I know sometimes I make it easy to dislike me, which, trust me, if you're in my situation, it's difficult because you're always having to defend yourself. So I will see you guys on the next one, man. Let's have a great week. Let's root for the Mountaineers. Let's be as supportive as we can. It's all we can do as fans, right? See you guys later today. I'll be doing another video, maybe 2 more today. Definitely got one with the BYU content creator, the Big 12 Mafia, and it'll be fun. We're going to learn more about some games this week, and we're going to talk more West Virginia stuff. Until then, though, this episode's over. I'm out of here, and don't forget to always cue them country roads.